So first of all, I just want to welcome everyone here. I know there's going to be a big crowd today, and I feel like this will be one of the most important live chats that I ever do or that I've ever done for Pretty Little Liars because there's really so much to talk about. So thank you so much for being here. And if you want to tell me you're here by saying hello and tell me where you're from, I always like hearing where you guys are from in the comments. I really appreciate that. But where should we start? We'll start with last night's episode and the reveal of Charlotte's killer. But there's a lot I want to get into discussing AD and who that could be. I'm also going to have extra live chats leading up to the finale. So don't worry, we will have a specific chat just predicting who AD is. And follow me on Twitter, turn your notifications on, make sure you are going to know when those things are happening, when that stuff is uploaded to my channel. I'm going to say hello to a few of you now. Esther lives in San Francisco. Hi, Esther. She comes to so much stuff. Tutti Frutti is in Greece. Landon's in New Orleans. Mary is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Kaylin is from Gainesville. Allie is from Fairfield County, Connecticut. Nidia is from Nicaragua. Wow, wow, wow. It's craziness. Ruth from England. Jessie from Georgia. Brianna from Ohio. And Sabrina from Germany. Wow, it's so cool to know that so many people around the world are watching this right now. That girl 99 is from Serbia. Honestly, I want to visit every place in the world. You know, I'd like to visit as many countries as I can and many states as I can. I've been to many states, but I'd like to get to all of them. But anyway, I'm curious to see what you guys thought about the episode last night. Now, I did my reaction video. I read a lot of your comments, and it's funny because a lot of people did not like it. Some people hated it, and some people absolutely loved it. So there's quite a few different opinions. And just a heads up, I hear the UPS man, so you're probably going to hear some dogs barking. I apologize for that, or I think I hear him. I know he's coming, so I really do apologize if that is him right now because he's coming. But anyway, what I want to talk about first of all is a question that I've been getting a lot on my video from last night. And that is, do I really believe that Mona was the actual killer of Charlotte? Or if I believe she killed her, do I believe Mona pushed her off of the tower or the balcony or whatever you want to call that? Well, we did not see Mona push Cece's body off, and we know that she ends up on the ground. So I don't know if we're supposed to assume that she did do that later and we just didn't see it, or if we're supposed to believe and find out that someone else was involved, or if we're supposed to believe that she didn't actually die when Mona thought she had killed her and someone else killed her before throwing her off. So, okay, so apparently Marlene has confirmed that it was Mona. That's what I was thinking. I thought that we were just giving them too much credit by saying someone else came in and finished the job off. Thank you for letting me know that. To me, I felt like that was the most underwhelming part of this episode for me, was the fact that we had two separate scenes dealing with Cece's death, and the second scene definitely seemed like they were going to say that Mona didn't really do it or someone else was involved or whatever. I don't understand splitting it up like that, and I definitely saw a lot of you guys felt that it was the same kind of situation where you thought, wait a minute, did Mona really kill her? Was someone else involved? Why did we revisit this to make it appear that someone else might have been involved? And then it was her all along. After last night's episode, I definitely felt like it was her, and we just didn't see her throw her off. But there was some speculation that had me a little bit excited because I would like to have someone else involved. Having Mona be the killer, I guess that makes sense, but I was definitely hoping for a more surprising person. They really could have made it anyone if they had a backstory to back it up, you know. They didn't have to go with Mona. I saw some people comment that they had to go with Mona. There was no one else. From the promos, they basically gave it away that it was Mona. So if you're going by that, yeah, probably, because they gave it away to me in the promos that it was Mona. So I thought that it probably wasn't, because if you're a smart show, you don't put things in promos that actually happen. And by her holding those purple flowers and everything, it definitely pointed to her. So I thought it's not going to be her, but it ended up being her. So it is frustrating to me because I feel like literally they could have made Caleb or Lucas or they could have made all kinds of different people who have never been an A or been suspicious her killer and put a story with it that made sense. And then it would have been like a very cool reveal. For me, I was expecting a reveal that would make me like freak out, fall on the floor. You know, it's huge. Where the episode before the finale, it should be a huge reveal in my opinion. And I was going to do a separate video last night with just the reaction of the killer, but I was so underwhelmed that I was just like, I had no reaction. I only got really excited when they revisited the scene where Charlotte died, when I thought they were going to add a second person, an accomplice, or someone actually killed her other than Mona. So that's what I feel about it. It doesn't, you know, it's not a bad thing if you don't agree or if you loved it or whatever. We all have different opinions. And I was very excited for the episode. If you watch my reaction, you could see how excited I was. And for those of you saying I don't enjoy the show, come on, I've watched it for 7 years. There's definitely been shows on my channel that I've watched and quit watching because I dislike them so much. But I want it to be, you know, I wanted something spectacular, and maybe I had my hopes up too high because I didn't feel like that was a surprising or spectacular reveal at all. So I'm going to go to some of your comments because I just talked for a long time there. So I want to see what you guys are saying. Ashleah says, you totally agree with me. You were excited to see Vanessa Ray, though. So Charlotte ends up being like way crazier and more rude than I ever imagined. Like she just seemed really like savage. I don't know. I was like, oh my God, like, wow. Like I wasn't sad that she died because, oh my God, she just seemed way over the top rude and crazy and mean. And, you know, Mona did not mean to really kill her. She acted like she was going to push her over, but she didn't. And it was kind of a mistake. So Mona definitely has some issues of her own. Ellie says Janelle's acting was amazing and you were so excited that you guessed it. Yeah, I think Janelle did a really good job, and she does a great job of being like loser Mona and being like really aggressive, like beautiful Mona, you know? Mr. HOD, also Allie, aka Allie, says, how would AD know who killed Cece if Mona told only the liars and Caleb and Ezra? And why would AD go away? So I was very confused at the end. If you watched my video, you saw my confusion that we have AD driving off into the sunset, which that means, you know, some people didn't understand what that means. And basically that means they're leaving Rosewood, whatever. So we do have a 1-year time jump when we come back to this episode next week. So they're going to leave, I guess, for a year. Some very strange comments on here today that don't really have to do with the show. They're going to, you know, be gone and they're going to come back. So what this makes me think is that the people who were a huge part of this episode, I don't think it's going to be one of those people who's driving off. But I don't know. I just feel like it was someone who was working on the outside doing things, not Ezra, Caleb, Spencer. I'm not saying it couldn't be one of these people's twins, but those people that had a huge role in this episode, I don't feel like it's going to be one of them. What I think that you should do is watch the video that I tweeted out. So Marlene and Sasha did an interview with Entertainment Tonight all about this episode and what's going to happen in the finale, you know, as much as they can say. And I tweeted that out. It's the last thing I tweeted, so you might want to check that when we're done here. I found it really interesting. Now, from my previous experience with Marlene, I've been watching this show like you guys for forever, and I've been doing this on my channel for a few years, and she's very much known to say things and then they will not be true, or she takes them back or whatever. So when she's answering some of these questions, it sounds very exciting, but at the same time, I don't know if I believe it, but it is very exciting, and she does a great job of hyping up the show and hyping up this finale. Margaret might be paranoid, says, that interview, did you see the part about the masks? Yes. So I think for sure she confirmed there's going to be one realistic mask reveal in the finale, which is just so silly to me. So we may, I'm thinking, get tricked into thinking that AD is a certain person because it will actually be that actor, and then they're going to rip off the mask and be someone else. So, you know, this is not a spoiler. This is something she just put out there herself, but someone is going to have a mask, and I assume that it will be like part of the AD reveal. So it's going to make us assume someone is AD. And so when you think that, when you're watching the show and you see someone and you're like, and this person's being revealed, you have to think that's probably not that person, even though it's that actor or actress. Something else that I found very strange was the way that Caleb was acting. And I would hope that that means something. And some of you have asked me, does that mean something? And I'm kind of thinking at this point that it doesn't. But I found it very odd, his interaction with Mona when he was eating the pie and all of that. And sometimes I almost thought for a second that, wonder if he made that meeting with her. I don't know. Ralph says, unless you are Lost or Westworld, two different shows, guys. A separate company cuts the promos together and not the studio. And I probably missed some of that conversation that some of you guys are having. But even Marlene talks about the promos in that Entertainment Tonight interview, and she says that the ABC Family / Freeform people are putting those promos together. She is not doing it, yet she will watch them and say, I don't like this, I don't like that, cut that out or whatever. But she also said that they've gotten so good at it, she doesn't really have to edit them very much anymore. Ezra was also really strange. I honestly think a lot of these people are red herrings, or they're just being strange for the heck of it because, you know, something else to point out, a lot of people have told me that Marlene had been quoted saying that the AD that will be revealed, the final AD, has been AD since episode 1, season 1. And in this interview, which she just did, I guess, yesterday or today, she says that this AD picked up the game after Cece, you know, ended it, after Cece stopped playing the game. So again, that is not saying the person was in the episode 1, season 1. This person has not been AD the whole time, which I find really disturbing because I wanted this person to be like the AD that has been the main villain throughout the entire series. So that bothered me. I'm going to get some more of your comments now. Purple Sunstar, hi, says, just like with Allie's disappearance, the girls had nothing to do with Charlotte's death. AD only tortured the girls and not anyone else who might have had something to do with it. And for those of you who are making guesses about who is AD, please give me a reason if you want your response to be read. You know, Jason is AD because blah, 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 instead of just saying so-and-so is AD. Sabrina thinks that it's Spencer's twin. She was there the night Allie disappeared. Alicia, Ashleigh said the opposite. She said the opposite before, that AD was there from the beginning. Right. So she's switching what she had said. I definitely believe she said that before, but now she's saying that AD picked up the game. This AD that we meet next week picked up the game from Cece. So by saying that, and she also made references as to kind of they decided this season or this half season who was going to be AD. So you have to understand they have not planned this from the beginning, which is always what I figured. So she also made another, I mean, you need to watch it because I think there's some things in that interview that aren't lies, that are things that can help us, because she said when she sat down with the person who is playing AD, that they needed to know before everyone else because of a lot of the scenes that they were in and how they would have to react and, you know, something like that. So what that tells me is that whoever our AD is someone who has been a big part of this 7B. It's not Melissa. It's not Jason. It's not somebody we haven't seen in months. It's got to be, that's why I still feel very confident that it is Spencer's twin, because she would have to tell Troyan how to react and how to act, knowing that, and, you know, maybe in some of the scenes we're seeing her is AD. But the way she made it sound is that AD is somebody who we have been seeing a lot in this half of the season. And some of these people that you guys really want to be AD, and it's not that I disagree with you or whatever, but unless she's completely lying, which we can have, you know, we can consider that. Some of these people that you're hoping to be AD, we haven't even seen in 7B. So it definitely, to me, cannot be Melissa, because she was saying she had to talk to this person so they would know how to react with other actors during their scenes leading up to the reveal. We haven't seen Melissa at all, guys. I know some of you are diehard on this Melissa thing, but I just can't see that happening. We haven't seen her, you know. Yes, there's so many people here. Thank you so much. But I think this is an important chat, so I'm glad there's a big crowd here. Jordell says, are you the only one who preferred the 6B scene to be a dream sequence? I really thought that was a useless scene and didn't need to be included. I personally feel like that scene where she's writing Mrs. Rollins on the board was something that they had planned to add in once, you know, when she was actually married to him, when he was alive, and something happened that it got cut, but they promoted it, so they wanted to bring it back, and they brought it back as a dream, which basically just ate up time that they could have used better, and it didn't serve any purpose, and it was just weird, and I don't understand. Something else, Nick is saying there's been many hints these past 10 episodes. If you want to believe what Marlene says, she claims that she's dropped many Easter eggs in these last 10 episodes, and that if you focus, if you want to know who AD is, again, I think all of this crap in the past is irrelevant, because this person picked up the game from Cece, plus the people behind PLL just decided this season who AD is going to be. I just have to tell this to you straight, because there's a lot of people who are not, you know, misinformed, or they listen to something she said before, but it's somebody they just decided on who picked up the game from Cece. So I don't care what happened, you know, in season 1 with so-and-so acting weird or whatever. You have to look at the last 10 episodes. when somebody asked her, they were reading like fan comments, they said, what episodes should we watch to pick up clues about who AD is? And she said the last 10 episodes are the ones where they've intentionally dropped clues to help you figure it out. So I know, and I'm not trying to be, you know, dismissive or anything to any of you, but when you're quoting season 3, episode 2, whatever, it's like useless because they didn't even know who AD was back then, who this AD was. And they're just now deciding it this season. That is exactly what she's saying in this interview, which is, you know, with Entertainment Tonight. So if she's lying, you know, we've got her on, you know, we have her on camera lying. But that's the thing that I just want everyone to understand, that it doesn't matter what Melissa did in the past, what Ren did in the past. And it, you know, to me, that is so sad because it should matter. It should all connect. It should be, you know, somebody that's been doing stuff that they should have planned on day one. This is who our final AD is, and we can, you know, put these clues out through all these years, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't. And that's just the freaking truth. So, you know, that is what I just want to, because I'm getting so many comments on my channel, you know, with very lengthy theories, and they're so good, you know, and it's involving people we haven't seen this season, and it's quoting episodes that happened, you know, 20 years ago, not 20 years ago, but you know, but yes, people have asked me about the new promo. I am going to react to that. Absolutely. Look for that video. Remember, turn your notifications on, so that you know when a new video is out. I have a PLL video or chat or something related to PLL, something every day from me until the finale on this channel about PLL. So Anna's asking, who do I think AD is? And I really think it's Spencer's twin. Marlene was asked if that clip in the promo where you see like Mary like stabbing or attacking Spencer, someone was wondering if that was actually Spencer or a twin, and she confirmed that it was Spencer, but when she was kind of asked about the twin theory, she did not deny it. She just, you know, I really think she is going to be the twin. Something else she said that was interesting, that's why I hope you can watch this interview if you haven't already, is that she said that she has seen some people on social media who got it right, who know how it's going to turn out, but there's been so many people with the wrong theory that she feels pretty safe. You know, not enough people know it. So I don't know by her saying that if that's a trick or what, because I feel like so many people think it's Spencer's twin. On the other hand, I see so many of you saying Melissa. So maybe she's seeing the Melissa ones and the Ezra ones and everything. Personally, I don't want it to be a twin. I don't want it to be Spencer's twin. I'm just trying to look at this rationally and let you know what she said, unless all that stuff she's saying is once again a big lie. They are going to interview her at the Entertainment Tonight people. I think they have like a Rosewood show or something. They're interviewing her again next week after the finale. So I really hope that if all of the crap she just told them in this interview is lies, they will call her out, because what the heck, you know. But I want her to do a good job. I want it to be a good reveal. I want it to be somebody amazing. Even if it's a twin, you know, maybe it's going to have a really compelling story with it. I don't know. But, you know, I just feel like after watching that interview, after hearing what she said, unless she is the world's biggest liar, I don't see it being Melissa. Okay. John's asking, who do I want to be AD, not who I think will be AD. Well, I always wanted it to be Ezra. You know, I've wanted that from the very first season. I think they can make that make sense. The only problem I have with that, and the show probably has with that, is where they made him sort of look like A for a while. And I feel like if they made someone look like A, and like she, oh, by the way, she pretty much said Toby is not A, because someone asked about Toby and she was like, I love Toby, so I wouldn't want to do that. So for those Toby theories I'm seeing, I think that's out. Again, you know, she's going to look dumb if any of this stuff I'm telling you, if any of the stuff she says in the interview is a flat out lie, then, you know, believe me, I will call her out on it, because I have in the past, and I know she doesn't watch this, but to you guys, I will, because it's just like, don't lie. It's just stupid. So I'm going to be positive, and I hope that she's telling the truth, and that, you know, everything she said in the interview, you know, flat out said is going to be true, and that it will be a decent reveal. But I think for those keep asking me, who do I think AD is? I think that it is Spencer's twin. And I think I think Troya needed to know before filming these scenes, obviously, that sometimes she was going to be a twin and sometimes she was going to be Spencer, because, hey, you would have to know that. The funny thing is, a lot of the cast did not know who AD was until like near the end. So when she was playing evil twin. I don't think that they knew that she was evil twin, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, E. Jamie says on the chalkboard, Allie has an alias Emma Thorwald from Rear View or Rear Window. I know there's a lot of references. I'm not sure if you're talking about that dream sequence, but there's a lot of references to old movies in the show. Who knows if that means anything? Marlene was also saying that the why the person is AD is a lot stronger than who is AD. So I'm very disappointed to hear that they're going with a mask, because those realistic masks make me laugh, because they're not masks, they're actual people. So you know what I'm saying? It's like Toby's going to show up and it's going to be freaking Toby. Why can't I think of his name right now? His real name. And you know, it's going to be him, not a mask. And then they're going to edit it like he pulls off his face, and then it's going to be like Spencer's twin, you know? So that's what's so stupid. Ralph says you could see them doing something stupid like having Spencer pull off a lifelike mask only to reveal that it's actually Spencer, right? So it's going to be like Troyan with her real face, because it's not a mask, pulling off her face with fancy editing, and it's her face again. I mean, you know, but I think Marlene was kind of saying there's going to be 2 masks, so watch for that. Just know, I mean, I'm going to be watching this live with you guys. So I will remind you, if you're watching it with me, that when we see that somebody is revealed, it looks like they're getting revealed as AD, it's not them because it's a mask, okay? The interview, I tweeted it on my Twitter. This is an Entertainment Tonight interview. It's something that it was on YouTube, and someone sent that to me today. I can't remember who it was. I do appreciate that so much, but the last thing I tweeted on Twitter was this interview, so I definitely suggest you watching it, keeping in mind that before the CC reveal, a lot of stuff was said by Marlene that was flat out lies, and I did some videos about it, and when people were like so confused that I was upset, that was, you know, why. But I think it's important to watch that interview. I really do, because I don't think that the entire thing is a lie. I really don't. I mean, but you can take it as you want it. You don't have to watch it, but you know. All right, I'm going to get to some more comments. Elijah thinks that Marlene meant if people got it right, probably because Allison has a twin. I haven't canceled. I haven't, you know, I could still see Allison having a twin, and I see that somebody just said, I'm sorry, the comments are going by so fast, but someone just said Arya might have a twin. I think it was Ralph, and I could see that. I could definitely see that. What I'm a little bit confused about is that Mary went to jail. There's a lot of things I'm confused about. Mary is in jail for murder, which, you know, wouldn't you be in jail for a while on that? We're doing a year time jump. How do we see her in the promo attacking Spencer? And that's Spencer, according to Marlene. What's up with that? Now, is somebody still alive? Like, did Jessica not die? Or how is she out of jail? Or did she escape jail? And none of this makes sense. Like, why would Mary want to be attacking Spencer, who she went to jail for and, you know, supposedly loves and everything? Explain that to me. I don't know. And again, when you watch a promo, except for the promo before the Mona reveal, which pretty much gave her away, you know, things are edited. Like when Arya said, I can't marry Ezra, you just get these like snippets that lead you down a road that's probably not the right road. Natalie says, if it's Spencer's twin, then where has real Spencer been the whole time? Well, I think if it's her twin, we've seen real Spencer and we've seen the twin. You'd have to figure out which is which. I mean, when she was in the airport with Ren, pretty sure that was the twin. I think when she hooked up with Toby, that was the twin. I'm seeing some comments asking me if I think anybody's moms, different people's moms, dads. I don't think mom. Okay, I think I'm back. I was just saying, Marlene really likes to mess with me. Sometimes she comes to my other live chats about shows that aren't even PLL, and she, you know, disconnects them. So I think that it must be Spencer's twin, because she's watching this, of course, in LA, and she disconnected me. It happens sometimes. I'm sorry, guys. Margaret might be paranoid, says in the promo we see Mona wearing a black hoodie and she hits Spencer. people are saying that's Mary, though, right? And that was even asked by Marlene, and she said it was Mary, you know? Okay, Julian says the name of the last episode is the name of a movie involving a doctor who goes hostile. Interesting, but are they talking about Rollins? Are they talking about Ren? I mean, we see Ren, we see him shooting someone. You know, who do you think he's shooting? I don't know. You know, I definitely think Mona's probably going to die. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that to disappoint anyone who loves her. I'm just trying to be factual here. I think that. Sabrina's talking about when Julian Morris posted that thing, maybe on Instagram, I think, the picture with the mask and it said unmasked. So, yeah, that's great. That's a great memory of you guys. I don't know if they would put it out there like that or let him put that out there like that, but if you see Rin revealed, and I remember like she also said, I'm sorry, this is turning into like Marlene said, I'm sorry. I know it's annoying, but I feel like it's relevant. But she said Rin was going to play like a big role in the finale. And if they tried to trick us and make us think that he is AD, I could definitely see them doing that. But apparently that's from a movie. But I could definitely see them doing that with the Ren mask, because you know how so many people wanted him to be Ren, and I know she's well aware of the Reddit spoiler where everyone thought the CC reveal was going to be him. So I could see them definitely going there just to mess with everyone, because people will freak out if they think it's Ren, and they will be so excited, and then they're going to pull out the mask and it's going to be Tippy the bird, you know. But I don't think it's Ren. I want it to be Ren. I did a video on it. I mean, to me, I can make it make sense for them if they want. Like, they can watch my video and they can make it Ren, but you know. Clobo says you have a big question. Did Marlene say the AD was in the pilot episode? Apparently she did a long time ago, but she's no longer saying that. Her latest interview, she says this AD picked up the game from CC and has the last 10 episodes have the biggest clues that they've actually put in there for you to figure out who AD is. Again, this is an interview with her, not a spoiler, not a leak, but I see some people in the comments talking about leaks and spoilers and whatever. And please be reminded, even if you're new here, that we don't discuss leaks, spoilers, anything like that. Like the whole craziness with Ren, which ended up being fake. So if you've seen something that is, you know, supposed to be a spoiler or a leak, please do not post that in here. A lot of people do not want to see that just in case it's true. Why would Spencer's twin hate Hannah? MTM is asking, and Allison so much. You know, I don't know her backstory, and apparently we're going to spend a lot of time on the backstory of AD, but I mean, I feel like AD probably grew up in Radley and resented their twin for having a normal life, you know, in the real world, and probably thought, you know, things were so much better for them and they had friends and everything. So, I mean, if it's Spencer with the twin, the person's just super jealous and wishes they could have her life. And maybe they're out there trying to live her life, because we've seen the twin in some scenes trying to take over the life, trying to be with Spencer's ex-boyfriend, trying to do this and that, you know. Amber says last night's reveal was so annoying. They acted like there was something more. You freaking hate that you love this show. And I've always said this show to me is like a bad boyfriend, because I love it. I do love it, but I know sometimes it's bad for me because it's just some of the comments are really funny. It's just like, it's always disappointing me and always letting me down. I always get my hopes up and I'm like, they're going to treat me better this time. It's going to be different. And then they pull off this Mona reveal, and like, I don't know what they're going to do in the finale. I don't know, but I will keep it 100 with you guys and let you know my true feelings. And if that upsets some of you, I don't know. I'm sorry, but it's like only a TV show and I'm very invested in it. So when, you know, it's just like, if you ever watch like Dexter, or True Blood. I loved Dexter. The finale was terrible. If I was doing videos, I would have ranted about it. True Blood was a really, really, really bad finale, and I love the show. So when you know, when someone dislikes something that happens in a show they're passionate about, I think they're even more livid and Can anyone hear me? Probably not. Let's talk. Hopefully someone can hear me. Oh yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Oh, and then I went away again. Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back, right? Can you hear me? No, it's not really Marlene. I'm just playing. This is a joke I've had for a long time because something happens with these live chats sometimes, and it just cuts you off. I don't know. It's so frustrating, but it's not Marlene. At least I don't think. That's just a running joke I've had because this has been going on for a while. But I just joke that like she does this all the time. Okay. Chase, you think AD is suffering from MPD because of Charlotte being killed? So that's why they wanted to know who killed Charlotte. Well, I definitely think they wanted to know who killed Charlotte, but I don't know why they couldn't figure it out themselves. Like, you know, isn't that kind of weird? Like they've, you know, been able to figure everything out. They spy on everyone, but they needed like the liars to help lead them to who killed Charlotte. I don't know. I find that very strange. Again, Mona definitely is not, you know, 80. Yeah, the PLL tag. I got to find that. I feel like I did that once before, right? Nature Oil Lover. I need to find that. Uh-oh. I think the UPS man is here now. What else can go on during this chat? I don't know. Sorry for the dog barking. But anyway, I've kind of lost my train of thought what we're talking about here, but I'm going to go to the comments and see what you guys are saying. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Kayla is asking if I think Aria has personality disorder because she seemed crazy talking to herself in the car. This was also asked to Marlene, and I think she kind of laughed and dismissed it. So maybe, possibly, I don't think so. Lauren says AD's radio in the last scene said 89.3. And I'm so sorry, it's so loud. If you go to the season 2, episode 8, minute 9, you have Spencer and Ren. So I don't know if that meant anything. I think the UPS guy is on. I'm so sorry. Nerd is in here. Thank you for being here. I see a lot of people are fans of yours. So thank you so much for coming in here. But I didn't really think of her as talking to herself or seeing that way. But I definitely think she could have a twin. But I really think it's going to be Spencer's twin. I mean, but I will say, I don't really want it to be Spencer's twin, and I would love if it was someone surprising. I mean, please, God, I just wish the show would shock me and surprise me. Even if it was someone so crazy like Pastor Ted, like, at least I would be like, okay, like, you go, PLL. I see you're doing something here, you know? I mean, I don't want to who wants to figure it out? Personally, I mean, as much theory videos and everything that I've done, like, don't make it one of those people. Surprise me. Make it someone interesting and make me be like, wow, I can't even believe that, you know? That's my dream thing. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for those of you who watch theory videos or who do theory videos, like, seriously, I don't want to be right because I want the show to be smarter than me and smarter than you guys and, you know, make sense. Yeah, Jordell is like, you think they really forced the Pastor Ted connection? Like, that seemed to me out of the blue. I could not believe when I saw that he was in the episode because I saw him in the, you know, previously on and I was like, whoa, are they bringing him back? And then they did, and it was just so random. I don't know. I felt like it was so random. I hope we do get to see Emerson's baby or babies. I think some people have said that she might be having twins. So I hope we get, obviously we will get that. It's been a year, right? I mean, I'm hoping. And I think Claire is mentioning Dr. Sullivan being AD. Now, a lot of people, I really personally don't think that she's AD, but people have been bringing her up recently. And then last night I thought of all of you guys because she's maybe making an appearance, but maybe not because they needed her to deal with Mona. And I feel like since we're jumping a year ahead, we might not see her talking to Mona because it would have happened in the past. So, you know, I don't know. But again, I would love to be surprised. And sometimes there is, you know, I think Nerd said, like, it feels good to know you're right. And it does, but I don't want to be right about it being Spencer's twin. Like, that doesn't excite me or make me happy. I would love to think of this great theory that was someone so random and like someone none of you guys would think of. And then they would pick that person. Then you'd be like, oh my God, how did I figure this out? Like, that's when it's cool when you're right. But I don't want some lame person that's easy to figure out, which I think it's pretty easy to figure out that it's Spencer's twin, to be AD. I don't. I want it to be. Tommy's talking about Paige. They asked her in this Entertainment Tonight interview, is Paige going to be in the finale? And she said, I don't want to answer that. So I don't know what that means, but she seemed really evasive about that and did not want to talk about Paige. So I'm not saying that that she's AD or anything, but she has been in the last 10 episodes. I mean, I'm clinging to hope here. I want somebody to be AD that I don't expect. Even if I've done a theory video, I just don't want it to be a twin, you know? But I definitely feel very strong that it's someone who has been in these last 10 episodes and someone who has been in them more than once. Like Ren, we barely saw him. I think it's somebody who has had, she doesn't have to sit down and talk to an actor or actress and tell them how to act in these 10 episodes if they're not in the 10 episodes. You know what I'm saying? So it's somebody who is like a focus of these episodes or someone who's been in many episodes, you know? So like when you say, is it Jason? We haven't seen Jason, you know? So it's like, I'm just being real. I don't think it could be him. William thinks the PLL writers were speaking to the fans through Tanner's scene when she was explaining that they just need to give the judge a simple story instead of a lot of theories with loose ends. Well, I mean, I feel like whoever AD is and the backstory is going to be very convoluted and not simple because they really don't do much with PLL that's simple and easy to make sense. So Manny's asking if I can talk about the possibility of Melissa being AD, which I touched on a little earlier. And again, I just don't think we're going to have her as AD. We haven't seen her in the last 10 episodes. I mean, one of the biggest takeaways I have from this interview, again, Marlene's interview with Entertainment Tonight, tweeted on my channel, if she's telling us that she had to sit down with the actor or the actress and tell them how to react and, you know, in these last 10 episodes, we haven't seen Melissa. So why? I just don't see it being her. You know, no hate to anyone who feels like it's her. The thing is, it could have been her. But if they just started this AD picking up the game from CC, Melissa's barely been around. So this is not an AD from first season. It should be. It should be. It's not right. And why is Addison, Tiago's talking about Addison, why is Addison back on this show? Why? I just don't care. Are they trying to do a spinoff? I don't know. Maybe that was just a rumor, but why is Addison back in this episode? She literally made so many people angry the first time we saw her, you know? Andrew, I think the actor who plays Andrew had some legal trouble. You might want to Google that because that's as much as I can remember without giving a big speech about that. But yeah, I feel like she's going to try to do a spinoff of this show, and that's why Addison is in the finale, but very annoying. So, you know, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I know I've ranted a little bit, but that's how I feel about everything. And I think that Ren is going to have a big part in the finale, but I don't think he's AD. I would love for him to be AD, but I don't think. Ashton's asking who will make me the most upset if they're AD. That's hard. I guess who would make me the most upset would be Mona, because it's like we've been down so many roads with her. They just reveal, I don't think they're going to do that, but they just revealed her as Charlotte's killer. She's been A before. And I think it would just be so stupid and like lazy to say she's AD. I don't see them doing that, but that would be, I would probably like really be throwing things. Or if they tried to say that Cece didn't really die and she's been AD this whole time, like, oh my God. Jeffrey's asking, who do I think is the father of Emily's baby? I mean, that's another really good question. I really hope they're going to answer. I really think we need to know. Yeah, I'm telling you how I really feel. I get really like pumped up about this show and sometimes in a bad way because, you know, I mean, we only have one more episode and I want it to be really good, but I'm also going to be realistic about it, you know. Toby's not going to be AD because she said she wouldn't make him. I don't think he's going to be AD because she likes him too much, you know. But I really feel like you guys should watch that interview and then also consider that sometimes she doesn't always tell the truth, but I really don't feel like the entire interview is her lying. I mean, that would just be so over the top. I don't know. Micah thinks that Mary is thinking she is stabbing Spencer's twin. So that's a good point. I still don't understand why this woman is out of jail, unless she broke out of jail or whatever, but she definitely should still be in jail a year later for murder, for 2 murders, you know? So I don't really get it. But yeah, she could definitely be thinking she's trying to attack Spencer's twin. And I mean, I just feel like if we were supposed to have all these clues, in the last 10 episodes. What clues do we have? We have these clues of Spencer having a twin. I mean, I don't think they can be any more obvious than the airport scene with Ren. And then the second most obvious was her scene with Toby. Just seemed really off. I mean, a lot of stuff was off. I just personally feel very strongly that that's where they're going with AD. I don't know what's going on with Sydney. That was weird. She was literally here for a minute and gone again. It was just so weird. I wanted to let you guys know, if you didn't know, that I'm shouting out someone in all of my videos or live chats about PLL for signing up for the notification squad. And tonight's shout out goes to Nature Isle Lover, who turned on my notifications and let me know by posting notification squad in the comments of a video. So to be considered, you have to turn my notifications on when you're watching an actual video, not this live chat, but like if this is on as a video. In the comments of the actual video, say notification squad. If you have already signed up, you can still say that in each video, because I usually go back to the last video to pick someone to recognize as the notification squad person of the day. So you can let me know every time, as many times as you want, until you get recognized. But thank you, Nature Isle Lover, for watching my videos, turning on my notifications, and for always coming to the chats, because I see you a lot in the chats. But some things that are coming up on this channel, if you did not know or didn't hear me say, I will have a video or a live chat every single day leading up to the finale, and some stuff after the finale, depending on what happens in the finale. But we will have some stuff after the finale. So some stuff coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a more of my thoughts, sit down thoughts about the Charlotte's killer reaction, my reaction to her killer, and some AD theory stuff. And I'm also going to be having a video coming out soon reacting to the promo for the finale. And there's a collab coming with a lot of people who do PLL videos. I'm not sure when that's coming, but I think probably next week. There's so much coming. There's going to be a special live chat next Monday just devoted to who is AD. But if you follow me on Twitter, that info's down below, but it's Kelly_TV. That is probably the best way to know like what things are coming up. But if you have my notifications on as well, or if you're not on Twitter or whatever, then you know like I'm going live or I have a new video or whatever. So that's why, because I get a lot of comments like, oh my God, I had no idea you did this, or I was, could have watched the live chat, but I didn't know you were doing it. So notifications will really help. Sorry about the barking. And Twitter as well. But thank you guys so much for being here. Literally, this was so much fun, just as fun as I thought it would be. And this video will be up on my channel in like 5 minutes. So if I didn't get your comment or you thought of something else to say, please comment on the video and watch that video I tweeted on Twitter. I'll add it to the I'll add it to my description here, so you can click on it for Entertainment Tonight's interview with Marlene and Sasha, because I talked a lot about that. So you can watch it and then see what you think, and what I said might make more sense, So I hope you guys have a really great evening, and I can't wait to see you guys soon, which will be tomorrow with my new PLL video. So bye, guys.